Hey guys, let me put this right here. It is Dr. Anthony from Absolute Chiropractic. I'm just getting ready to leave the office, and something really cool just happened. So I have, because I'm a really big nerd, am blessed with the opportunity that I get to interview a lot of chiropractic and medical and exercise physiology researchers for a little fun podcast type project that I have on the side. And I just finished interviewing an expert concussion researcher from the University of Tennessee, and it was awesome. We just spoke for like 35 minutes on some of the neurological effects post-concussion. If you guys are paying attention to the news or anything like that at all, you can see that so much information regarding concussion, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is encephalopathy, which is CTE, which is what that Will Smith movie Concussion was about, is coming up. And they've been researching and finding really, really, really amazing changes that happen post-concussion and pre-concussion. So what we spoke about was the adaptability or the function of the nervous system pre and post concussion. What this doctor was telling me or explaining to me is that a lot of the research that they look at is that they can show baselines in nervous system functioning using a tool called HRV, which is what a lot of chiropractic research is actually based off of. And they can look that immediately after injury, there's significant reductions in the performance of this tool. Now, what does that mean for us? Following this head and neck injury, which is honestly what it is, heart rate variability, what this measurement is looking at is, I don't want to get too sciencey for you guys because it's late at night and I'm really good at boring you. What it is a measurement of how well our body can adapt to and handle stress. Okay, how well our body can say, hey, I'm in a really stressful position, or I'm not. So a perfect example is somebody with a good heart rate variability score, a good adaptability to stress, would be something, as he mentioned, like a fighter pilot. A fighter pilot has really, really, really great scores. And the reason why is that really in a high stress scenario, they can go ahead and they can still actually not adapt to that. They can have mindful, conscious control over how their body's going to go ahead and respond. Whereas somebody like you or me, in that high stress scenario, maybe we go over the edge, right? Me specifically. And what he found was that immediately after a concussion or a head and neck injury, these individuals, football players specifically that he was looking at, saw huge decreases in these scores, which meant that their body basically every single moment of the day went from being this high-end athlete to feeling like internally there was like a tiger or a bear in the room with them all the time. Their heart rate's going to go up, their digestive system isn't going to function well, emotionally they're going to be a wreck because internally they're in a high stress type situation. They were able to actually measure these changes. Well, that's really, really cool. And the reason that's so cool is because you guys know we've had this conversation pretty often here that chiropractic, and in our office we actually work with tons of people pre and post concussion. Now, oftentimes we'll find is people with things like, yes, headaches and migraines following concussion, but focus, sleep, energy, those are all huge changes that go along with this. Now, because in our society we oftentimes keep our blinders on, which is something that this doctor I was talking to completely rejects. He's like, no, we have to keep and integrate the whole system. Because we keep blinders on, we're like, well, it was a head injury, the only thing we can look at is the head. So let's give medications that are going to help the head. Let's do exercises for the head. Let's just keep it on the head. But what we talked about is how the spine, if we get hit in the head, obviously, the spine is attached. So if we have any sort of misalignment or subluxation in the spine, it's going to actually send the wrong information up to the brain. And because of that, it's going to decrease this HRV performance. It's going to make us feel like there's a bear in the room. Now, this is absolutely fascinating, and it completely explains why so many individuals under care in our office, after maybe they've been sick or suffering following concussion for days, weeks, months, even sometimes years, when we start to actually restore that proper curvature, restore that proper function of the spine, they can see huge improvements not only in those aches and pains, not only in those headaches and migraines, but in their focus, in their sleep, in their immune system function, how often they get sick, in their digestion, things like reflux and IBS, which are common post this, even in their ability to be present with their family and have good emotional regulation and control. So when we talk about neurologically based chiropractic, I mean, when it comes down to it, this is what it's about. Yes, we see people with aches and pains all the time, and especially following a head or neck injury, you bet there's going to be some issues there. But by actually looking at how the nervous system is functioning and is designed to function, by restoring the proper curve, by restoring the proper structure, by reducing any of the damage that was done with the injury, the lives that are going to change is absolutely amazing. It's just absolutely fascinating. And you guys have heard me talk about this before. You guys can see stuff all over our office from that. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys because it was pretty cool to talk and have this guy who's not a chiropractor, who's an expert in all things concussion, use language and talk about the stuff that you and I talk about all the time, right? You guys know this. You probably tell your friends and family about it. You probably tell them anything you hear. You're like, hey, I heard there's this chiropractic office that can help because they know, because the brain controls and coordinates the function of everything in the entire body. And it makes sense that if we can get our brain and body to communicate better, that the body's just going to heal, and it means something different for every single person. But by gosh darn it, let's go ahead and make sure that we can heal and live at 100% of our best. I know you've had that conversation. I know you had that conversation over 4th of July with your family. Anyway, guys, I'm Dr. Anthony from Absolute Chiropractic. Once again, it's lovely to share with you guys. If you guys are a new patient, please comment. If you guys are a current patient or practice member of ours, comment, share, like it, tag a friend, keep coming to your adjustments. That's awesome because we're getting you to function 100%, improve that HRV, get the bear out of your room. And if you guys are a new patient, we'd love to see what's going on, see if there's any dysfunction there, see if there's anything we can do to help you function 100%. So if you want to do that, check out getabsolutehealth.com. Any of our current practice members, if you guys would be a doll and post that link in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. You don't have to. It'd be cool if you did. Anyway, if you guys are watching live, thanks for being here. If you guys hang out, I'm going to have in the next couple episodes of this, going to have an announcement coming up. We're going to be doing an audio version so you can listen to this kind of content when you're on the way to work in the morning. It's going to be a podcast. Right now, I am working on the name. So if you guys have any recommendations for names, you guys can put those in the comments as well. And if you are listening to this and you're on the audio version, well, obviously we figured it all out because that's why you're listening to it. Have a great day.